I think a lot of us find it disappointing when a brand that we love is closing, especially if it's a brand that we know we can't get those products anywhere else. And that's how a lot of people felt when they found out that Beauty Bakerie was closing. And the thing about that particular closing was that Cashmere Nicole, who was the founder and CEO of Beauty Bakerie, she announced it pretty abruptly. It was like, we're rolling, we're doing all the things, and then, oh, by the way, we're closing the brand. It was very abrupt. But if you are a Beauty Bakerie fan, I want you to listen up special because Beauty Bakerie is coming back, but it's not going to come back exactly the same. I have all the details to share with you so you can decide for yourself what you think about what is going to happen when Beauty Bakerie relaunches. After that, we'll talk the Huda Beauty rebrand and how one of their hero products is changing beyond just the logo. The subscription box Ipsy has chosen their new icon curators this time. It's actually two people with two different brands. In business news, we have two retail chains that are being purchased by another retail chain. And in science news, we have learned that the FDA is updating their guidance on specifically misinformation with beauty devices. Personally, I do not think it's enough, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And finally, we'll wrap up the show with a lighthearted story about how YouTube is highlighting the experiences of Native peoples through the power of makeup. If you are interested in any or all of those stories, hang tight. We're about to get into it right now. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to What's Up in Makeup Top News, where we talk about everything that happened across the beauty industry all in one place. I want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to Beauty Independent. I did an interview over there with them about my thoughts on the beauty space, on YouTube, and about indie brands and all kinds of interesting questions that they asked me. So if you're interested in reading that article, I will link it down below for you. I am actually quite proud of it. And now that I have shamelessly plugged, let's get into this Beauty Bakerie story because it definitely took a turn at the end that I wasn't expecting. And I went, oh, really? But we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's start just with Beauty Bakerie because you may not be familiar. If you've never heard of Beauty Bakerie, it actually was a very cute concept. The premise of it is that the packaging was all inspired by baked goods. So you had things like the flour setting powder that was sold in a little flour bag. We had the blending eggs that were sold in a little egg crate, and their brushes. The brushes had on the ends like baking tools, like spatulas and spoons and things like that. It was just really, really cute stuff. People also fell in love with their CEO and founder, Cashmere Nicole. She has this really sweet voice and just a very pleasant demeanor, just very light and airy and sweet, just like her brand. Here's a little clip from a piece that she did actually with Morphe, because I believe Beauty Bakerie was sold at Morphe stores at one point.
Hey Morphe babes and sweet people, it's me, Cashmere, Beauty Bakerie CEO and founder. I'm so excited to be at Studio Morphe. I want to tell you a little bit about Beauty Bakerie, why I started the brand, how I'm inspired by sweets. I started this brand in 2011 and it started with one great idea, and before long it was like brownies, lip with flour. And it was like, wow, I can build on this idea and really grow it out. All right, you sweet Morphe babes, this is the look completed. I'm so excited about this look. I'm so excited to be a part of the Morphe family, and I'm really excited to have the Morphe family become a part of the Beauty Bakerie family. We look forward to seeing your looks, collaborating, talking, growing, and I'll see you next time. And let's get into this look. I wanted to literally fall off the chair. Woo! I will throw my weave. This is new. And I'll see you next time. My feet were down here like...
back in March, people were confused and they were sad and they were just wondering what was going on because Cashmere decided to abruptly close her brand. And we actually covered this in What's Up in Makeup back then. Instead of just going through the whole thing, I'll put some clips from that episode now so you can kind of get the gist of what happened. They emailed customers on March 28th and posted on their Instagram on March 29th. The CEO of Beauty Bakerie, her name is Cashmere Nicole, she posted a strong message to go along with that of Christian faith. I will put the entire post up for you to read in its entirety, but I'm going to kind of summarize it for you because I'm seeing a lot of confusion around social media about what exactly Cashmere is talking about in this post. The post starts, as I reflect on who I was in 2010 when I founded the brand and who I am today. I come down this corporate ladder grateful both for the change and that this journey ever even happened. Cashmere wants to redefine what success is for her. Felt like Beauty Bakerie was a disruptor in the industry and that they challenged societal norms with, quote, foolish things of this world to confuse the wise. I will explain that in just a minute. But in her next chapter, she wants to redefine what success means to her by focusing more on knowing and loving God and less on validation through social media and choices in business. Then she thanks people for being a part of the Beauty Bakerie journey and sees this is an evolution into being, quote, guided by the wisdom he generously gives, lit by his ambitions, not her own. There used to be a hyperlink in the post on Beauty Bakerie's website. As of this morning when I'm filming, the hyperlink is no longer there anymore. And that hyperlink leads to a podcast. And that podcast is called Silence and Song. If you were able to follow that hyperlink when you get to the podcast, it says, welcome to Silence and Song, a new kind of beauty community where we uncover the beauty of knowing Christ. If life is a journey and we have our itinerary, if life is a battlefield, we have our marching orders. If life is a school, we have our syllabus. Number 1, love God above all things. 2, love others. 3, make disciples, to go out into all the nations and make disciples. Life is life, and he's given us the way because he has given us himself. Silence and Song with Cashmere Nicole will support our Father in those 3 endeavors. This is his platform, not mine, fully submitted and devoted to him. I listened to all 3 episodes, and there is one particular clip that I feel like is relevant to Cashmere's journey and possibly a clue as to why she really is closing Beauty Bake. Because if you are totally confused right now, you are not alone. I do think that I understand this though, especially after listening to this clip. Here it comes.
And I thought, maybe I owe people an apology. You know, I've been on a path that he asked me to go down for the last 13, 14 years. And he had specific instructions for being on that path. And those were to say his name, to bring light to darkness. And now, after all this time, I noticed that I can't give entrepreneurship advice anymore because it's no longer a lifestyle that I can stand behind. I'm in a place where I have to understand if that's even biblical. And most will tell you it's fine. I once said that it was fine. But the relationship with Christ is not just an intellectual relationship. It's not a common sense relationship because what's common to man is probably not going to be that pleasing to the Lord. And I'm seeking to go deeper than I've ever gone before, which is why I need to be careful what I adopt as a path to follow. I want to give you an example. Society might say, grind until you get it. And like I said, I may have even said this before. And scripture will reveal the beauty in not having it. Society is saying, go out and get it. Grind until you get it. You can sleep when you die. He tells us to rest.
Now, the comment section under this video, it was very mixed, but also very passionate on both sides of the mixing of ideas. So some people were very horrified by what Cashmere was saying, accusing her of cult-like behavior, saying that she had been brainwashed. It was that extreme on one side, but people were just as passionate on the other side, celebrating Cashmere and so excited for her on her journey to become closer to God. Since the announcement, Beauty Bakerie has sold no products on their website. If you go to their website, even now, you can find products for sale, but what it does is there's a link directly to their Amazon page, which is where all the last Beauty Bakerie products were coming out of. But all of that is changing because Beauty Bakerie was acquired. They were purchased by a company called West Lane Capital Partners. And if that sounds familiar to you, you may have seen the episode we did just a month after that one on Mented being purchased, because Mented was purchased by West Lane Capital Partners. Beauty Bakerie is going to join Mented under the Blooming Brands name. Now, if that sounds familiar to you and that sounds really weird to you, you're probably thinking of Bloomin' Brands, which is named after a product that I sold a lot of in college when I worked for Outback Steakhouse, the Bloomin' Onion. The Bloomin' Brands is a restaurant chain conglomerate. They own Outback Steakhouse, Carrabba's, Bonefish Grill, and Fleming's, I believe. At least they did back then. I don't know if they still do. Anyway, that was the bougie restaurant. So different company. Not the same thing. Blooming Brands owns a makeup company called Blossom. And where I've seen Blossom is at my local, I think it was either Nordstrom Rack or TJ Maxx, I can't remember, but they sell cosmetic products that have real flowers in them that are dyed these bright colors. They're very pretty. I have never purchased one, so I don't know the quality of them, but that's Blooming Brands, not Bloomin' Brands. But back to Beauty Bakerie itself. So Cashmere posted on Instagram this past week talking about why the trajectory of the brand has completely changed from closing down to selling. Here is the post that she put up on Instagram. I am going to summarize for brevity, but if you would like to read the entire thing, it is a very Cashmere-esque post. It's very flowery and sweet and Christian-y. So if you want to read the whole thing, if that brings you joy, it is on the screen for you now. Essentially, Cashmere talks about why she decided to close her brand, but during the closing process, she received a lot of messages from supporters encouraging her to sell the brand instead of shutting it down. As a result, Beauty Bakerie has been acquired. She reassures her followers that the new team loves the brand and will continue to offer their favorite products. Cashmere ends the post by saying that she will, quote, always be here to offer my support and guidance along the way, and requests that current fans of the brand show the new owners that love knows no bounds, that love is powerful enough to change an enemy to a friend and a friend to family. Show them how you loved me. It was so good. And whatever you do, do not ever let anything or anyone harden your heart. When love becomes hard, it isn't only our hearts that have become hardened. Remember to be better, not bitter, and keep your heart soft, gentle, and open. That's how light gets in, with love that never changes, Cashmere. Now, this is the twist that I was not expecting. So remember I mentioned Beauty Independent at the top of the show. Beauty Independent took the next step and actually went in and started interviewing people and asking people about what happened, and what they found was the new CEO of Beauty Bakerie is going to be none other than KJ Miller, the founder of Mented Cosmetics. And I was like, what? If you are not familiar with KJ, from what I've seen of her, she's freaking fabulous. I will link her YouTube channel for you down below so you can get to know her a little bit better. But I was like, oh, okay, that's where we're going with this. And it makes a whole lot of sense. So I don't know what that means as far as how KJ is going to split her time between Mented and Beauty Bakerie, because she did say she was going to continue on advising with Mented after she sold it. I mean, KJ having a hand in Beauty Bakerie, I feel like is best case scenario. A relaunch of Beauty Bakerie is set for fall of 2024. But at this point, I would love to know what you think of all of this information. Are you excited for Beauty Bakerie to come back? Personally, if I were to informally advise the brand, just as a mom in my basement that likes to talk about this stuff and has been doing this for 12 years, I would say keep the packaging. Packaging's amazing. They've got to improve their quality of product. Their eyeshadows were not pigmented. Just full stop. Not pigmented. The liquid lipsticks, I know a lot of people love them. Way too dry, sticky, not good, in my opinion. If they can fix the quality of the product just through testing, it doesn't even have to be a more expensive formula. Just make it better. Beauty Bakery is going to freaking crush. And I hope that it does, because I feel like there's just so much potential there. And I think if there's anybody that can bring that out, it's KJ Miller. We have another update on a story that we talked about earlier this year, and that is the Huda Beauty rebrand. In the earlier story, we talked about the video that Huda put out talking about why she was choosing to rebrand, some challenges that she's had with Huda Beauty over the years, and the update here is that the rebrand is finally happening. Huda uploaded a video on her channel called Huda Beauty, the rebrand. Of course, I will link the full video down below for you so you can watch it in its entirety. So through that video, she shows some of the potential logos. And this logo right here really struck me because it reminded me of like a shorter, wider version of the Beauty logo and the Beauty branding. And then of course that sent me down an Beauty little rabbit hole. So just side note, in case you were thinking, oh, what happened to Beauty? Their website is gone. It's so freaking sad because Beauty did make some amazing products. Sharon Shooter, just love that woman. But when she stepped down and she left the company, it seems like everything is just fallen apart from there. They haven't posted on Instagram, I think, since 2023. And again, their website's gone. If you go to the Ulta website, all the Beauty products are on deep discount. It's just really freaking sad. I'm so bummed about that. Anyway, let's go back to Huda Beauty. I just wanted to go off track for a second, but we're back. So talking about Huda Beauty, let's go ahead and look at the brand new logo. Personally, I really like it. I feel like it fits Huda Beauty really well. You know, it's got kind of a prettiness to it, but also very modern. It's very professional and feminine, and I think it just exudes Huda Beauty. I think they did a really nice job with that. The other thing that I wanted to mention that Huda was talking about in the video, and I'm actually going to show you a little clip of the video, is that she is actually going to change the packaging for one of her hero products, her baking powder. And then of course my ADHD brain is like, remember that time that Huda Beauty copied Beauty Bakerie? That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, the baking powder. I could keep going off topic, but I'll just link something down below if you want to hear that story. So here's what Huda Katan has to say about the setting powder.
So this is the new outer pack. You can see it has this beautiful kind of round edges, and you can see on the side there's this beautiful embossed easy bake, and it's actually shiny. In the inside, you have on the cap, you have this little bit of like stopper here that actually creates a little bit of a space so the powder doesn't become too overwhelming. A lot of times when people open, there's too much powder that comes out, so this kind of gives you a little bit less space for the powder to come out. You can see this is the sifter, our new sifter, and you can see the sifter now, it's really nice and soft. It's very flexible. If you're somebody out there who hates the sifter, because I know a lot of you do, I've been seeing your comments, a lot of you really hate it, like with a passion. And you know, we want to make sure that everyone is heard. So now you can actually easily just remove. There's a little thumb hole. There's two thumb holes on each side of the corners. You just have to kind of squeeze it, and then it comes out, and then it can go right into the easy bake.
So my question to you after that is that packaging change overkill? Do you think that it's just too much? Do we really need all of that? Or do you think it's freaking genius and you're just so excited about it? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. The beauty subscription company Ipsy has a really interesting marketing tactic called the Icon Box. And the Icon Box is a celebrity curated special box that only members of Ipsy and their acquired BoxyCharm subscription, only members of that have access to this Icon Box. It's a really good deal. It's only $60, and this particular Icon Box is going to have a $350 value. But what really brings people into this Icon Box as a bonus, as an extra, is that it is curated by celebrities. Previous curators of the box include Halsey, Patrick Starr, Pat McGrath, Alicia Keys, and Gwen Stefani, among many, many others. The curators for this particular box are Oh, I'm wearing shorts. That sounds a little different than when I'm wearing jeans. Let's do it a little quieter because that sounded a little weird. Let's do it again. That sounded so much better. The Icon Box curators this time are John Legend and Chrissy Teigen. And I know a lot of people have passionate feelings about John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, either very positive or very negative. So I don't know how you feel about this. I'm just telling you about the box. So the box is going to have products from Il Makiage, Give by Gwen Stefani, Drunk Elephant, Fenty Skin, Pat McGrath Labs, and of course, John's skincare line, which is called Loved One. You're also going to get what they call an exclusive offer from Chrissy's food and lifestyle brand. It is called Cravings. I'm assuming it's going to be a coupon. That's what I would imagine it would be, or maybe like a free gift with purchase, something like that from Chrissy's brand. So there's 8 products in this, and for $60, that is a fantastic deal. But again, you have to be an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm subscriber in order to get it. So they get your money out of it that way. If you are interested, the Icon box will be available starting on August 1st, and Ipsy subscribers can reserve their spots for this limited edition run right now on the Ipsy website. I will admit something to you. I will tell you that the number of times that I have purchased anything at any of these 3 stores I'm about to talk about, I could count on 0 hands because it's too bougie for me. But I know that a lot of you are bougie bitches and you love the bougie shopping. So this story is specifically for you. The parent company of Saks Fifth Avenue, it is called HBC, is all set to purchase Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf Goodman for a $2.65 billion deal. But there's something interesting that you should know about this deal is that there are other investors. There's 2 that were named in the article down below. One of them is Amazon. The other one is a company called Salesforce. Of course, we've heard of Amazon. We know what that is. At least we think we do. But I never heard of Salesforce. I don't know what the heck that is. So I looked it up. And according to their website, Salesforce is a cloud-based customer relationship management software. They say it makes it easier for companies to find more prospects, close more deals, and connect customers in a whole new way so they can provide them with amazing service at scale. The customer relationship management software, which is what they call it, helps track each interaction brands have with a prospect or customer. That can include sales calls, customer service interactions, marketing emails, and more. It benefits large enterprises that need to easily track customer activity in one place and share it across departments. And I know some of y'all are super sketched out by the tracking that is done of our shopping, of our, what websites we visit, all of that online. I know some of you are super sketched out about it. So that was why I wanted to mention this specifically. I don't know what this means in reality, in practice. All we know is that this company called Salesforce is an investor in this purchase of Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus by Saks' parent company. According to reports, once the transaction closes, HBC will establish Saks Global, which will include Saks Fifth Avenue, Saks Off Fifth, Neiman Marcus, and Bergdorf Goodman, and each retailer will continue operating under their current name. So that is that on that. Are you concerned about the tracking that brands do of us and our activities online in order to market and sell to us? Tell me what you think, because I haven't done a ton of digging on this. I've kind of accepted it as part of my daily life that, what I do online is tracked. That's just the way that it is. But I know that that's probably not the smartest thing. I will admit to you, I know that there's more to it than that. So if you want to sound off in the comments, feel free. I find the next story very interesting because I always think when I think of Dyson, I think of a huge brand that's doing very well. Apparently, not so much so. Or that they're just making some different decisions because what they're doing right now is not working behind the scenes. And I find these kinds of stories absolutely fascinating. So Dyson is based in England, and what they've decided to do is figure out a way to cut costs. So their CEO said in a statement, quote, "We have grown quickly, and like all companies, we review our global structures from time to time to ensure that we are prepared for the future. So as a result, they are cutting 1,000 jobs, and that's only out of 3,500 UK-based jobs. The jobs are across 3 different work sites." A Dyson employee reportedly told the BBC that, quote, "Everyone involved in R&D have now exited all Dyson buildings. Whether this capacity will return over the next few weeks remains to be seen." Very interesting and very sad for the people that have lost their jobs. Because the thing is that in 2022, Dyson announced that by 2026, they were going to launch 20 new beauty products. And it seems that so far, the one that's hit the hardest and done the best is the Dyson Supersonic Neural Hair Dryer. It hit the market earlier this year. The dryer technology, what it does is it auto adapts to help protect your hair and your scalp health. And it also does something interesting, at least according to this article, where when you set it down, like if you're doing something and you set the hair dryer down, it automatically adjusts the airflow because it has the sensor in it that knows that it's been shut down. So along with decreasing the airflow, it also deactivates the heat. Again, according to that article that I have down below, the issue isn't necessarily with the beauty products, but with the other products that Dyson is trying to launch across different markets. So for example, in 2019, the company had to shelve a project to make an electric car in which it had sunk over 500 million pounds already into this project, and they just killed it. Killed it meaning that it's dead, not killed it meaning they did well. Like it's gone, it's dead. I think the path Dyson has taken is a really tricky one because you want to come up with something innovative. You want to come up with something that no one else has done, but it also has to make sense. It also has to be attractive, this new thing that it does. You can have gadgets and devices for days and days and days and all these different things, but if it doesn't really bring the customer anything of true value that's going to make their lives better and easier, it doesn't matter whether it's nifty. People are not going to buy it, and if they do buy it, the novelty might wear off pretty quickly, and they're going to leave their reviews online. And also the technology has to work properly, and it's a lot. It's a difficult road. I'll leave you with another question on this story. What Dyson products do you own that you love? Have you bought any Dyson products that you think are just gimmicky and not worth the price? I know I really love my hair dryer. My husband got it for me not that long after it launched. I never would have purchased it on my own because it's too expensive and I'm a cheap ass, but I do love it. It's nice and light. It dries my hair pretty quickly, and I do enjoy using it. But I haven't invested in any other Dyson tools because they're really expensive and I feel like I don't necessarily need them. But if there is something you think that I need in my life from Dyson, let me know what you think in the comments. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, also known as the FDA, knows that when devices are launched to the public, that misinformation is always out there and that it's becoming a problem. As a result, the agency has provided some updated guidance for brands to encourage them to stop the spread of misinformation about their devices. FDA Commissioner Robert M. Califf, MD, said in a statement, quote, "The growing spread of rumors about science and medicine continues to put patients and consumers at risk. We remain steadfast in our commitment to address this public health concern and continue to support and encourage all parties in the public health ecosystem to take an active role." The article that's linked down below is in a publication called PRN Newswire, and it's really like a press release website. And that article identifies healthcare providers and consumers who are using the internet for research and finding wrong information, and then they spread it out to either people they know personally or people on the internet. And where I know we're finding it in the beauty space is that some of these medical providers are finding false information and then using their credentials as a doctor to make people feel like they're secure in that this information is real, but then we find out later that the doctor's spreading misinformation. Dr. Califf continued in his statement, basing medical decisions on inaccurate information can have adverse consequences as it can lead patients and healthcare providers to choose treatments that are not safe and effective or to forego treatments that are. So the FDA said that they believe it is critically important to promptly address misinformation about medical products. I will link the document with the guidance down below for you in case you would like to check it out for yourself. The guidance is an updated version of previous guidance published in 2014. It encourages brands to use social media when they see false, inaccurate, and or misleading representations of fact about the company's approved, cleared medical product. It also provides companies with many examples that illustrate the types of misinformation found online that a company might choose to address. As far as what the FDA is doing on their own, they say they're providing factual information to news media and other organizations, creating resources on the FDA website and social media to address common questions, as well as spreading awareness about the dangers of misinformation and providing toolkits and resources. You know, I appreciate that the FDA knows that this is a problem. I wish that there was more actual action happening here where you're shutting this down somehow. I don't know how that would be. That there's some kind of rule. I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to think in practicality, like, how do you stop doctors from spreading information that's not real? Like, how do you do that? Like, I love that there's new guidance. I love that the FDA is bringing attention to this, right? Like, I love that. But at the same time, is a guidance actually going to, in reality, do anything? I don't know. I do think that it's up to the brands to make sure that they are spreading the correct information about their devices, talking about the science behind it, how it works, and why this false information is not correct. But it's like, how do you stop the medical professionals who are spreading misinformation? I don't know the answer to that question, but I hope the FDA figures it out because they're way smarter than I am in that area. And finally, in our lighthearted story this week, we have a celebrational story out of Australia. To celebrate National Aborigines and Islanders Day Observance Committee Week, YouTube Australia has teamed up with makeup artist Katie Kyle Taylor for a series called Our Makeup. And it's really, really cool. I watched a couple of the videos and I really enjoyed it because I don't know anything about native cultures in Australia. It's just something that I don't know a lot about. So I learned so much from the videos. In the videos, Katie interviews Australian stars about their connections to culture, their connections to their country while she does their makeup. Now, the series was created by Indigenous-owned agency Going North, and it explores the diverse lived experiences of their guests, including their professional and personal achievements. So, for example, it includes model Cindy Rostron, who talks about how she was on the cover of Vogue and the importance of her job as a ranger, which I thought was super interesting. Also, Sherry Lee Watson, she stars in the Netflix show Heartbreak High. She discusses the significance of representation and taking up space as a woman of color. And then singer-songwriter Becca Hatch talks about learning from strong female figures and the importance of music in her life. Like I said, I watched a few of the episodes and I really enjoyed them. So the playlist for that series is going to be in the video description in case you would like to watch it as well. And that, my friend, was What's Up in Makeup Top News this week. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, as always, thank you to the What's Up in Makeup Facebook hunters. Their names are scrolling below me. Thank you for all of your submissions this week. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. Thank you so very much. I do want to let you know a couple of housekeeping things. First, Behind the Controversy James Charles Part 2 ideally is going to go live next Friday. I'm still in the research phase. I'm doing these one at a time and learning things as I go. I had a plan for how it was gonna go, and that plan is working out great. It's just I'm finding things and then I go down rabbit holes and it takes me a little longer. So I wanted to make it go live last Friday, but I went down too many rabbit holes, so it's gonna be hopefully this Friday. The other thing I want to let you know is that I'm going on my annual family summer vacation. We go different places every year. This year we're going to Seattle and to Alaska, and we've never spent any time in those places, so we're very excited. That means that the entire channel is going to be on hiatus until the beginning of August. So when you don't see me in your feed, you don't see What's Up in Makeup, that is what's happening. I will be back to create content beginning of August. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, but if you would like to watch something right now because you're not done and you want to hang out longer, I would love that. YouTube should be recommending a couple videos for you over here to watch. Last week's top news is going to be right there for you to watch in case you missed it. And then the top video, YouTube's going to use their algorithm to pick something from my catalog for you, something that they think you're going to want to watch. But if you have to go because you're busy, you got stuff to do, it's no problem. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did, and mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very soon.